Thank you for visiting pick4bet.com. This is the Yonkers Pick 4 on Tuesday, July 19th. We're sponsored by hopefully IdaBet. I'm in the process of talking to them. This is a site, pick4bet.com, where we offer free handicapping on Pick 4 wagers. Tonight is going to be Yonkers Raceway. It's Tuesday, July 19th. We're going to do race 7, which is the start of late Pick 4. We're going to get right to it. This is going to be a dollar ticket. And this is something that we're going to be posting every day, every night. We're going to be doing tracks across the country, all major tracks from harness to thoroughbred. I'll get into more about the site. You can visit pick4bet.com. That's pick the number 4bet.com to find out more information. However, let's get right to it. This is the first leg of the Pick 4. It's Yonkers race number 7. The one horse is Fleets of Magic. And just a quick note, this is a non-winners of 5,000 last 6 starts. The purse is 14,000. It says it's a $2 Pick 4, but obviously we're going to be betting this for a $1 Pick 4. Fleets of Magic is a horse that obviously has been racing with tougher horses. Sears rode him last race. This horse, as you can see on these races right here, is a horse that doesn't make any moves. He just sits the rail. He rides the rail. He might be a little bit more aggressive tonight because he's racing against lesser quality horses. But again, this is a horse that just doesn't make moves. He's 5-1. He's probably going to be over bet because he has the rail at Yonkers, and the one horse always gets bet at Yonkers. The fact that he loses Sears is enough of a reason alone to not add this horse in your Pick 4. I mean, on your deep tickets, you might think about throwing him in, but again, this horse is a horse that doesn't make moves. I mean, you can see, he had the real position and obviously a tougher race. $22,000 purse, non-winners at 8,000. But he can't even protect the pocket. He might be able to do so, against lesser quality horses, but my money is saying no. He raced against non-winners 8,000 last 6 starts in June 6th. He had the rail position. He was 11-1. And as you can see, he had the garden strip around the whole track. And, this is a horse that's probably going to ride the rail and try to take his chances from there. Obviously, we're not going to bet him. You can see from the last start of Meadowlands on July 2nd, he was 156-1 at the Big M. I know he had the 10th position. I know he had John Baggett riding him, but 156-1. Basically, it's about the same class at Yonkers. Non-winners of 5,000 last 6 start, and you're probably going to get 3-4-1 on him. And this is a horse we're not going to add in. The 2 horse is probably the best horse in the race, but he's 8-5 morning line, and he doesn't deserve that morning line odds. Yonkers is a track that basically loves to put those 8-5, 9-5 morning line odds, and those horses sometimes get bet heavily, and sometimes they go off 10-1. You just never know with Yonkers. But those morning line odds at Yonkers are ridiculous. The 2 horse is probably the best horse in the race as far as quality wise. He's ran 175 lifetime starts, made over $280,000. Last year he did 151 at Poconos. He was 5 for 33 last year. He had some tough post positions his last few races. Meanwhile, he had the 7th position last race at Yonkers, which is a tough position to win from. But he had a 28 opening quarter, and I don't think he's going to get that tonight. He had a 57 half, and he still wasn't able to hang on. 8-5 morning line, I can't bet him. I'm sorry. We're looking for some value here to beat him. This horse might have the lead, but I don't think he's going to be able to hang on. You can see these other races at Saratoga. He had some tough post positions there as well, but he didn't win those races. And if this horse is that good, he should have won those races at Saratoga. And now he's racing a tougher field at Yonkers. He's going to be even more heavily bet than those Saratoga races. So, just value alone, we're going to be shopping to beat this horse, and hopefully we do so, because then it's going to juice up the pick four. The 3 horse bet on roulette. Jim DeVoe takes over the reins. Paul Kelly trains. Paul Kelly's a trainer I kind of like betting. Jim DeVoe is another driver that I kind of like to bet. He's underrated. He doesn't get that many drives. He's coming over to Yonkers to ride this horse. This horse has been racing against better horses at Saratoga than this 2 horse Jazzy Jeff. He might not have enough speed to compete with him in the opening quarters. However, you did see he flashed out in 27 and 2, 2 starts ago. But I don't think he's going to be leaving with this horse. He's going to get an aggressive drive tonight. I think so, because Jim DeVoe is an aggressive driver. I like him. He's more of an upstate New York type of guy. Monticello, Saratoga. The fact that he's coming over to Yonkers to ride this race. Bet on roulette's a horse that's 10-1 morning line. It's good value. It's an underrated driver, underrated trainer. Last year he had 24 starts. He came first or second 50% of those starts. So this is a horse that hasn't won. He's 0 for 14 this year. But he's gonna get value. He's 10-1, and you just have to add him to your tickets. You have to. The 4 horse, the Maniac, is basically a horse that's having his first start in the 2011 campaign. He made $88,000 last year. He won 5 of his 36 starts. However, there's something wrong with this horse. I know he just won his qualifier in 57. The qualifier looks better than it is. Basically, I talked to some people on the track. He looked okay for that mile, but the Maniac's a horse that probably you're going to be better off giving him a few starts. He might get bet on the simple fact alone that people are going to think that he'll go for the lead. I don't think he's going to go for the lead. They're probably going to, I would think that they would want to play it safe tonight with this horse, because obviously this is not a do or die race. They're probably just going to try to get a race under his belt. Last year he raced against the 30 and 40,000 claimers at Yonkers. He has bad class. This is a good horse. But his first start in the 2011 campaign, something was obviously wrong with this horse. His qualifier looks better on paper than it really was. It really does. Brendan basically rode him for the qualifier race, and he's not riding him here. That should tell you what you need to know. The Maniac is probably going to get bet a little bit for those people that think he's going to go for the lead, but I can't throw him in on the pick 4 ticket for the simple fact is, is he going to be fit enough to win this race? I don't think so. He's good enough, but he's not fit enough. The 5 horse Kia DIM, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but those Harrington shippers, however you pronounce them, they're the hottest horses in the country. They're shipping like maniacs all over the country. This horse was bet last week 2-1 just because he's a Harrington shipper and he had Brennan, obviously. He loses Brennan, but Stratton is not a bad a guy to have on board. Arthur Brewer owns and trains this horse. This is those horses that those Harrington horses are for no reason. They're shipping hot. All over the country. Yonkers, Meadowlands, Poconos, Meadows. These horses are winning all over. These Harrington horses, you just have to add them. He's 8-1. I know he hasn't been racing against top quality horses at Harrington, but we're going to play the Harrington play because he's 8-1. That's some value, and the fact alone, these Harrington horses are hot, and I'm just going to add them to the ticket on that fact alone. And this is a Harrington horse. The 6 horse Hurricane Anthony. This is a horse where he's probably might go off 30 to 40 to 1, but this is a horse that might have a chance if there's a speed duel on the front end. If the 4 goes off for the lead, the 2 parks him out, the 1 leaves. Who knows with this horse? If basically the race falls apart, Hurricane Anthony will be picking up the pieces in the end. He's probably not good enough to beat these horses on an everyday effort. He's going to need the trip of his life to win this race. Stacy Chadu's a trainer I kind of like. She's underrated. This is a freehold horse. Basically, Hurricane Anthony is a horse that can compete with these horses on every week basis, but he's gonna need a trip. He's gonna need a 55 half, 56 half, where horses are just blistering on the front end, and Pontiano's gonna have to try to pick up the pieces. If he gets a trip like that, he might win the race, but that's saying a lot. That's asking a lot. This is a horse that I wouldn't mind throwing on my deep exotic tickets as far as playing trifectas. Hurricane Anthony is not a horse that we're going to add to the pick four ticket, but this is a horse that I do like for some value wise. But again, as far as pick four goes, no. The 7 horse McMantle. This is a 4-year-old horse that I think Lori Whittemore, the trainer, is not placing him right. 4-year-olds need to be racing those 3 and 4-year-old non-winners, 8, whatever. And basically, this horse is too ambitiously placed. He's racing against older. He has improved that he can race against his elders. But he has Sears, and that's enough to basically for me to add him on the ticket tonight, because Sears doesn't ride the 1 horse, and he comes outside to the 7 horse McMantle. That's a little question mark in itself. I don't know if they're going to play this horse tonight, as far as betting him and being live at the window. But I'll tell you what, the fact that Sears takes him over. I'm just gonna throw it in because we're gonna need our guns to try to beat this 2 horse in the pick four race. And basically, hopefully this horse can get a trip. But Lori has to be placing these horses in better races than this. This is a tough race for this horse. He's 4 years old. Try to find the races for the 4-year-old. This is a tough race. This is a tough race. But we're going to be adding to the ticket because of Stairs. The 8-horse Doc's Yankee, George Brennan. This is another 4-year-old horse, but this is the complete opposite. The 7-horse Doc's Yankee has shown that he can compete against elder horses. I'm sorry about that. I was checking the time to make sure I wasn't going over the limit. Basically, Doc's Yankee is a horse that has competed with elder horses. He's a horse that basically has shown that he can compete with them. You can see his last 2 lines at the Meadows. He was racing with winners over 10,000. He didn't win those races. I don't like the breaking efforts. He broke there, but he came home in 27-4. He did the mile in 153. So obviously he doesn't need to run a qualifying race if he breaks again, because he finished that mile okay. So they're going to be aggressive with him tonight. George Brennan takes over the ride. He has enough speed to go out if he wants to. I don't know if he's going to. I like that mile he did at 152 at Scioto on June 11th. This horse is very talented. He has shown that he can compete with the elders, and we're going to add him to the pick 4 ticket. So basically, just to recap this race real quick, we have the 3-horse, we have the 5-horse, we have the 7-horse, and we have the 8. So it's going to be 3, 5, 7, 8 in the first leg. We're going to try to beat this 1 and 2 horse, who's going to be overbet, and who's the 2 horse is going to be bet rightfully so. But it's the 3, 5, 7, 8 in the first leg. Thank you.